Hi, my name is Ken Oliver. I'm here at Scrapbook.com and I've got a beautiful project that you're going to love. It's an embossed mermaid card with color burst and new liquid sparkle. The first thing I'm going to do is emboss a mermaid image onto a piece of water media paper. I'm using my water media paper because it's beautiful to use with color burst. It's ultra bright white, so the color burst shows up really well on it. And the other thing that's so versatile about this paper, it's actually two-sided. One side is textured, so if you want to paint things, you've got a beautiful texture to paint on. The other side is smooth, so if you like to stamp and color or emboss, you've got a beautiful smooth surface that will take any kind of image that you want to stencil or stamp onto it. I'm going to use a 6x6 stencil from the Crafters Workshop, and it's a beautiful mermaid with a jellyfish. So I'm just going to lay her down, and you might not have ever seen this done before, but I'm going to use embossing ink with a stencil brush. So I'm going to apply embossing ink to my stencil brush and rub through or stencil through with the embossing ink. Then I'll emboss it with white opaque embossing powder. So I'm picking up ink on my stencil brush, and then I'm just going to stencil that through. And my brush has a little bit of color on it, so I'll be able to see where I've stenciled. And one thing I like about this, my stencil brushes have tapered tips, so you can get inside the most delicate, intricate stencils with these stencil brushes. Now, it seems like I've got pretty much a good covering of embossing ink all around that mermaid. Then I'm just going to use embossing powder. I'm just going to move that around to make sure that all of my mermaid image gets lots of embossing powder on it. Give that a good tap. And I can see that our mermaid has a lot of embossing powder, so she's going to be really, really nice. And then with the heat tool, I'm going to emboss the embossing powder. So now my image is all embossed. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the embossing powder turns shiny white whenever it's embossed. And the next thing I'm going to do is create a watercolor wash on this background with Color Burst. And I'm going to also add in a little bit of liquid sparkle to make this super shimmery. And what we've actually done with this embossing technique is created a resist. This resist technique creates a barrier between the paper and the color and makes the design stand out then. So this is going to be really easy to do. I'm going to spritz my paper with a little bit of water, and then I'm going to put just a tiny bit of Color Burst on here. And I'm going to use cerulean blue. It's a beautiful light blue, and some turquoise. I chose colors that seem like they'd be under the water. And some yellow near the top. So it looks like that sunlight's dappling through the water. I'll give it a little bit more of a mist. And then I'm just going to take a wet paintbrush and brush around so we can develop that color and reveal our beautiful mermaid. And while this is still wet, I'm going to add a couple of drops of liquid sparkle pearl. Use pearl up at the top. And I'm going to use some sapphire near the bottom. Just kind of work that in. And then I'll dry this with the heat tool. So we've got that nice and dry. And you can see that there's a beautiful watercolor background there with just a little bit of sparkle on top. Isn't that nice? So then I want to make a card. And I'm using one of my water media greeting cards. And I'm going to paint a simple frame around the outside of this with some liquid sparkle. Liquid sparkle is very sheer. It's almost like a transparent watercolor wash. So it's perfect to create a look that would be under the sea. So I've got that nice and dry. And I'm going to take our Mermaid card front, use some tape roller. And you could pop this up with foam squares too, but just look how pretty this is. Beautiful card, perfect for your little mermaid. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message. Happy crafting!